So, you guys tell me, what was the very first website you guys looked at this morning when you woke up?
Facebook.
Email.
Okay. So,
Dale.com.
So a pretty good amount of Facebook and Twitter, a little bit of email. Anyone look at a news website first? Okay, so we got one. So, but it's, how many of you looked at either Twitter or Facebook? Raise your hand. Okay, so there you go. For me, it's usually either email or Twitter, depending on what's going on at work. So that gives you an idea of how important social media has become to all of us personally. That's where you know you're going to be able to engage with your friends and your family, depending on how educated your friends and family might be on social media. Like my mom, who likes to post in all caps on my Facebook. I'm so proud of you, daughter, and things like that. And I'm like, Mom, I have coworkers on here with me. Please. But you know, more than likely, you guys have made Twitter and or Facebook a part of your daily routine, right? And that's just for you personally, right? Social media is like running a marathon, right? There's not really much of an end in sight. You can walk outside. I mean, I can walk outside right now and start running in my cowboy boots, but I'm not going to be very prepared. I'm not going to last very long. I don't have any gear. I don't have any training. I'm probably going to get a quarter mile down the road and pass out from heat exhaustion or get a callus or something, right? Perhaps maybe I need, you know, some shorts, some undergarments, you know, some running shoes, right? And then maybe you need a trainer to, maybe you need the Couch to 5K program on your iPhone. Maybe you need an actual trainer that you pay money because you're really lazy about working out, right? It's the same thing with social media. You can't just off and run with it. You can't. You can't just get on twitter.com and go, this is my first tweet. This sucks. You know, I don't know how to do this. And you're following 0 people. Well, that's not going to do anything for you. So you need to get trained and get the gear that you need to make social media successful for you and for your news organization. Gear and training aren't usually free. I don't know, I'd love to go into the Nike store and buy a whole bunch of Tempo shorts for free, but I can't. It costs money, and it's that way with social media. There's a perception that, oh, it's free, you know, Twitter's free, Facebook is free, you know, la-di-da-di-da. Well, it's going to cost you time, it's going to cost you labor, and it's going to cost you, you know, the things that, the same sort of thing that you would put into training for a marathon. So, your first step with social media is to get organized, to learn about the tools and the different services you can use to make your life easier with social media. These are just a few examples that are commonly used by news organizations. Over here on the right is TweetDeck, and on the bottom right is sort of how it would look on your screen once you get set up. TweetDeck is great for, it's free, it runs on Adobe Air, but it's not web-based, so you do have to download it. And it's a great way to monitor. You can set up different streams for searches. If you're searching for a certain type of news, you can follow all your favorite people and that sort of thing. The one that I use at work is the one at the bottom left, Hootsuite. I manage about 30 social media accounts through it, indirectly or directly. So these are, and then this one with the crazy looking raccoon, that's Seismic, which is another web-based application that works well. So tools like this, these social media management tools, as they're commonly called, or social media marketing tools, are a great way of pulling in more than one account at a time and getting them all in one place so you don't get super distracted. It's very easy to get distracted with social media. The next thing is to get trained in all these new emerging types of social media. Social media is not limited to Twitter and Facebook. There is a whole world out there of social media services and applications. and be willing to experiment with these things. For instance, a lot of people think that the location-based services like GoWalla and Foursquare, they think they're stupid. They think they have no point. Well, for a news organization, they absolutely do have a point. And there's several ways that you can get involved with these services to maybe create a trip around your campus or a trip around your town of historic places and things to see. Maybe you've done a survey on the best of in your city, and you can create a little fun badge or trip for people to earn once they've gone to those places. You can leave tips at places. AL.com has created a Foursquare account with over 200 tips left all around the state at places that have been recommended by our partner newspapers. And every time someone checks into one of these places or close by, a little thing pops up in their smartphone saying, blah, blah, this is a great place to go for this. And a link to a story on AL.com. Tumblr is another one. It's a new blogging platform that's all the rage with college students right now. The New York Times is using it. The Washington Post is using it for various different ways of promoting their content. And then these two on the top right here are Color and Instagram. Color in the middle is a brand new one that's come out in the past couple of weeks. It's a way of creating an online photo album with your friends. So maybe you could start a Color account and have multiple people in your organization contributing pictures. Instagram is another one that's hot right now. It's iPhone only right now, where you can take a picture, give it multiple looks with different filters, and put it up on your Twitter or wherever you decide to share it. So none of this stuff is stupid. They give them these little crazy names and make them sound like they're some type of disease or something, But a lot of these are little startup companies and that sort of thing, but a lot of them do eventually take off, and they're worth looking at. Be willing to innovate and look at these services and learn how to use them at the very least. So now that you're starting your social media marathon, you've got some gear, you've got some training on this new stuff. Now it's time to brand yourself as a journalist. Whether you're still in college or you're a professional, it's really important to create a brand for yourself as a journalist. And that can be something as little as starting a Twitter account under your name and knowing that you are tweeting professionally. Or it can be creating a Facebook fan page for yourself as a journalist. Or it could be starting a whole WordPress site for yourself with links to your resume, your clips, your videos, whatever. It's really, really important to brand yourself as a journalist, even more so than whatever news organization you happen to be with, because I can guarantee you you're going to change jobs in the future. So develop a personality, once you get on the platforms that you're comfortable with, and have a reason for people to want to engage with you. Give them important information. If you're on the scene of a 3-car accident, tweet a picture that you feel is appropriate, and say, this is what's happening. There's 2 lanes closed down. Only one lane on the left side is open. Try to find a detour. Give them useful information. And then, show your personality. Some of us are outgoing, some of us are more bookish. We all have personalities, and, I think it's okay to let people know that you're a human. And it's okay to let them know that you have interests. I wouldn't delve so far as to telling them your political beliefs or things like that as a journalist. But if you have an interest in muscle cars or an interest in Disney World, like me, I'm obsessed, or an interest in social media, or an interest in painting at Sips and Strokes, because that's what this place used to be. If you have an interest in collecting something, I don't think it's wrong to let people know what you're interested in, as long as it doesn't go over that ethical line that your news organization has set up for your, for you to follow. So, be human but be smart. Don't tweet drunk. Don't Facebook drunk. Don't take a picture drunk. Even just personally, go through your Facebook pictures right now and delete any that you think are over the line. When I was in college, I did some pretty stupid stuff. Luckily, Facebook didn't exist until my senior year of college. But be aware of what you're doing at all times, because potential employers and parents possibly are looking at all that. Don't tweet or Facebook anything you wouldn't tell your grandmother about. So now you are trained, you've got your gear, you've branded yourself as a journalist. Now apply all that to your news organization. People actually would rather follow a journalist on Twitter or Facebook more so than a news organization because they feel that they're connecting, right? But it is important to have a good, solid social media presence for your paper or your TV station or your radio station or whatever. And so, it's also important to have some personality there. You don't have to be, it doesn't have to be robotic. With AL.com, we'll occasionally retweet people. We will occasionally reply back to people, but we don't get into back and forth conversations and that sort of thing. At that point, take it to your personal account and reply to them there. But, don't be afraid to, talk back and forth a little bit. Think about forming a social team in your news organization. I know at AL.com a lot of the work falls on us producers and the web teams in each of the 3 newsrooms. And the web teams in our newsrooms are really focused on just news, just breaking news. Well, it's also really important to share living, entertainment, and sports stories with your audience too, and weather. People love weather. It's really important to do that, so try to form a social team at the newsroom level, bringing in people from all facets. Even a page designer, a copy editor, an assignment desk person, a producer, whatever. Whoever has an interest in it, let them be involved. Because as a team, you can come together, and meet once a month, twice a month, however often you can get people all in the same room, and dream up some stuff. Think about what you can be doing to promote your content. Some good social practices. People love to be asked their opinion. So ask them their opinion on something and they will give it to you. You can even go so far as to make a poll with multiple answers, which is like really dummy proof because all they have to do is click a button and then another button. It's great. They have to type in. Sometimes people are kind of lazy. They might just like it. So, ask questions. Do you agree with this or whatever? And you'll get back some interesting replies sometimes. Sometimes people just go and rant and rave and get a little weird, but that's just how it is. For Facebook, uploading a single compelling image on its own or uploading a single video on its own ranks really highly in the newsfeed. You'll get more impressions that way. You'll get more people looking at it. And a lot of times people will comment. They like having something pretty and colorful in front of their face, so give it to them. And again, when folks address you either via your personal journalist account or your entity news organization account, a question, praise, a correction, a lead for a story, respond to them, whether that's via Facebook, via Twitter, or via your actual news organization's website. Don't be afraid to log in as yourself. Hey, this is me, Joe Journalist. I wrote this story. Thank you so much for the correction. I really appreciate it. And that is both excellent customer service and excellent journalism.